Plus time to go with the round ball. Out on the hardwood for the game of the week on the Valley Channel. We're done with the gridiron, and I'm always sad to be done with football, but hey, basketball's not a bad sport, John.
It's the season, we like it or not, we're here. After a bad loss the other night, we got to get going on the new game.
Boy, speaking of that, one practice for the Mountain Crest Mustangs. They've had a bunch of kids that played football. How do you put a team out there with one practice?
Well, it's the preseason. I think you have to look at it like the preseason, and you have to say this is practice. So we'll do the best we can. We'll get some kids some time, and we'll see how they do, see how they react, get them in shape.
Wasatch, a 3A school, but they are right on the cusp there of 4A. There's not a lot of difference between 3A and 4A in basketball.
Yeah, I was just talking to the Wasatch football coach, and he said they're excited to move up to 4A, so this will be a good test for them tonight as well.
Well, Mountain Crest has 3 starters coming back in Putu Tau and Hall and Crosby, so they should have plenty of talent on the floor. We'll see how it all starts out tonight on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
Introducing the official training bike of the Tour de France, the Proform TDF, the first ever indoor training bike that delivers everything you demand. A 20% incline and a 20% decline, so you'll experience exactly what the road does. Because it's powered by Google Maps, you choose the road and the TDF follows it. Every incline and decline, so no matter what comes at you, you'll be ready. The Proform TDF automatically adjusts resistance, incline and decline. Plus, with a built-in power meter, you'll know your exact output. You decide where to go and the official training bike of the Tour takes you there. And now that you've decided, we're ready to deliver. Order right now and get $0 down and a free upgrade on rush shipping. Call the number on your screen or go online today.
And the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel takes to the hardwood as the Mountain Crest Mustangs play host to the Wasatch Wasps. The Game of the Week is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness. Never give up. Lewiston State Bank, your hometown bank with a new location at 3rd South and Main in Logan. Wendy's of Cache Valley. Quality is our recipe. Cache Valley Hospital, your first choice in healthcare.
You're down 6-0.
Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. The Salt Lake Express, from your door to the Salt Lake Airport, 12 times a day. S.E. Needham Jewelers, where Utah gets engaged. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station. Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to the campus of Mountain Crest High School in Hiram. I'm Eric Olson, along with me, John Worley, and basketball season is here. It seems like we were just kicking off that football season, and you can tell I'm in denial being a big football guy, John, but it's okay. I like basketball too.
We're in for a good season, I think. This is going to be a great Region 5 season. I think the potential for having a couple of teams that really could go far into the state tournament is pretty good this year.
We were talking just a few minutes ago, we were kind of talking about, wow, it's pretty tough. These teams haven't had much time to practice, and you've got Mountain Crest with some guys that were just playing a football game less than a week ago. That tough loss against Timpview in the title game, but they have 3 returning starters, and these guys, as you've mentioned, you know a lot of these kids. They've played together for a long time. That certainly helps.
Yeah, I think it'll make a big difference. I've watched these kids play literally since they were 7 and 8 years old, maybe even younger than that. They've played together, and you've got 3 elite players in Putu Tau and Crosby and Eddie Hall. You're not going to find a better trio there, and I think everybody expects them to do well. But I'll tell you, the surprise this year I think that people are going to see is Tanner Knowles. A lot of people haven't seen him play, but I'll tell you what, he can really play. He's really picked it up the last year. He's gotten a little bigger. He's gotten a lot stronger. Then you got the young kid, the Kirby kid, who's a big body down there. And those two, in my opinion, are going to be the guys that are going to make a difference as to how well Mountain Crest does.
Tanner Kirby, 6'7", sophomore. Lonnie Magnuson's the head coach of the Wasatch Wasps, 12 years at the helm of the Wasps. I talked with him just about 10 minutes ago. Well, Coach Magnuson, the Wasatch team comes in after a pretty good season last year, but nobody with any starting experience coming back for your squad. How do you start over every other year? I guess that's the lot of a high school coach, isn't it?
It is, and we have some good
good young players coming up and some kids that did get varsity time, like you say, but not starting. And so, yeah, you find out where you're at early in these early games, and, we'll try to hit the ground running.
Well, we haven't really even seen them against other competition yet, but in looking at your team through the summer and the fall here, what are you hoping to see?
Well, just some kids that'll play good defense. That's always a key part to being successful is being tough on defense. And, like I told the kids last night, that's where your offense will get started is if you play good defense. And so hopefully we can get off to a good start. We know we're playing a very athletic team in Mountain Crest tonight. And so that'll be a big challenge. Hopefully some of them will be still a little sore from football Friday night, and we'll have a chance. So,
well, when you talk 3A versus 4A in basketball, it's, 12, 15 guys. You always talk about depth with it in football. Is it still that big of an issue in basketball?
Well, where we've been one of the bigger 3A schools for, several years now. And, obviously, like we just talked about, we are bumping up to 4A next year. I've always scheduled a lot of 4A, 5A schools in my preseason schedule, and we've competed fairly well. So, yeah, basketball is a little different than football in that you only have 5 guys on the floor at a time. And I think this year I'm hoping that depth is one of our strengths. I don't think we have that one guy that's just going to dominate a game, but I think we do have, 7, 8, 9 guys that can play ball. So, that's what we're hoping for.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Wasatch is just a few years removed from a state title game in 3A, Region 10, about, I think, 3, maybe 4 years ago.
In basketball?
Yeah.
Well, I've not seen them play, obviously, but they're excited about moving up to 4A, and I think they're going to be it's going to be a challenge for them. That's exciting as the school gets a little bigger.
They are missing a player, Nate Dow. They're missing him. He's a young sophomore. They have high hopes for him. He sprained his ankle in early tryouts, so we won't be seeing him tonight. Other than that, they have everybody else healthy. All right, Coach Buckmiller also spent some time with me talking about his team and some of the struggles of getting a team together on short notice. Well, Coach, coming off a pretty good season last year, tying for first in the region and heading to the playoffs, and now get ready to lace them up for real. But you probably have as many questions about this squad as the rest of us do.
Yeah, for sure. After one practice, we're trying to resemble something that looks something similar to a basketball team, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, sometimes the football team's gain is your loss. So you're probably getting used to getting guys a little bit late. How does that put the team behind, or do you worry much about it?
Well, typically we try not to schedule these games before Thanksgiving, knowing that football is usually going deep into the playoffs. It didn't work out this well this year, but the confidence and the mentality that those kids bring to our team is huge and vital, and will actually carry us later in the season. Not so much right now.
What's it going to take for Mountain Crest to put a successful team out onto the court this year? What would you like to see through the season?
Good chemistry, unselfishness, and just hopefully we have a way or a style that we play that inspires others, and it's kind of fun to watch.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, they're getting ready for the national anthem here at Mountain Crest. We're going to step aside and be back with the tip-off. Mountain Crest and Wasatch coming up next.
Clark Salt Lake Express and the airport shuttle have merged and become one.
So we still have doorstep service, and it's about the same price as it was before. Our focus now is to try to provide as many opportunities for people who need to have the ability to get to and from Salt Lake when they want. They don't want to wait at the airport for 2 hours. They also don't want to be driving around the valley when they get here.
And you bring us to a location that leaves on time.
We'll have another vehicle take you here to save time comfortably, and that main vehicle goes 12 times a day on schedule, both leaving the valley and coming back.
All right, we're back at Mountain Crest High School getting set for the starting lineups. Mountain Crest and Wasatch. Taking a look at these two teams. Coach Buckmiller of the Mustangs, he's in his third year. Last year they were 14-8, 7-3 in the region. That was good enough to tie Skyview for first place. They lost by 6 in the quarterfinals to Provo last year, and so it was a pretty good run, and then 3 starters from that team coming back.
Yeah, they're all a lot of coming back, a lot of experience coming back, and great athletes. So I don't really think that the football team is going to have a lot of impact on them. They're good athletes. They're hyped up from playing football, and it's going to carry right over to the basketball season.
About 37 points per game worth of production coming back for the Mustangs in Putu, Tau, Crosby, Hall, and Knowles. Wasatch, we talked about 11-11 last year. Lost in the first round to Cedar for the Wasps. You're looking at Jake Larson, Jeff Murdoch, Cooper Ballstadt, Chris Johnson, and Austin Harward as their starters. And they're getting set to introduce the Mustangs here. Tyler Crosby, the 6'1 senior. Eddie Hall, 5'9 senior. The great football season for Eddie Hall. Tanner Knowles, numero uno, 6'3", another senior, as is Laulu Pututau at 6'5". And then there's Tanner Kirby, that young sophomore, at 6'7". Big number 32, and a little bit more size than the Mustangs have had in a while along that front line at 6'5" and 6'7", and then 6'3".
I think the challenge for teams when they play Mountain Crest this year is going to be, what are you going to do with the size? Because if last year I think if you double teamed Mo, there wasn't a lot of people who could come and cover that. But I'm telling you, if they double team Mo this year, Tanner Knowles and Tanner Kirby are going to have a big day. And if they don't double team Mo, he's tough to stop. So it'll be interesting to see what teams do.
Mountain Crest, very athletic, would like to get out and use that athleticism. This is an endowment game as Crosby gets the tip from Pututau. And he's going to head right to the bucket and lay it in.
And there's Tyler's game right there. He will take you to the hoop every time. He's got it all. He can shoot, he can drive, play good defense.
He's a slasher. Mountain
Crest will play a lot of man-to-man defense too, and I think you see good help there.
Larson gets in the paint, and then Knowles fouls him.
And that may be where you see just a little bit of challenge for the Mountain Crest kids. Is getting that lateral movement in a basketball sense is a lot tougher than you might think. It may take them a couple of games to get going.
It is a different skill set. Murdoch works on Hall out front and then passes it out to Harward. Ballstadt.
Mountain Crest playing great man-to-man defense right now.
Ballstadt from Murdoch. Good. He spins it back outside to Johnson. Johnson can't get it to go, and Pututau with the board.
I already like what I see. You can see these Mountain Crest guys have played together. They're helping in the middle. Moroni was right there to stop the drive and then turned around and got the rebound. And that's going to be their advantage all year, is the fact that they know each other and they play well together.
Well, the foul on Wasatch, and the Mustangs coming the other way. Crosby looking low as Pututau comes across. Pututau looks for Knowles, can't find him, out of bounds. Turnover, Mountain Crest. Larson walks it across the timeline. Double screen up high for him. They can't find Harward on the roll. Now he does late, and Harward just got kind of hung up there and couldn't get to it.
Great defense. Kirby stepped out and stopped that penetration, stopped the pick and roll, and then forced a bad pass.
Kirby's 6'7" and got some meat on his bones,
and he's
too.
A young kid, too. He's a sophomore, so he's probably going to get a little bigger than that, and he's just going to get better all year long. Great.
Pututau swoops in from the left side and leaves it short.
Mo wanted to slam that. I think he was a little hesitant.
Johnson back to Ballstadt, and Ballstadt will set it up. Ballstadt, jumper from the free throw line. Won't go. Kirby chases down the board.
Good fight.
Gives it off to Crosby. Quickly the other way comes Pututau, and he leaves it back for Knowles.
And there you go. These kids, again, they know each other. They know where they're going to be, and they're unselfish. Mo could have gone to the hoop with that and instead got an easy layup for Tanner.
Very early game here in the season, so things could be a little ragged, but the Mustangs looking to jump out to a 6-point lead as Crosby gets the steal. Crosby, one of the leading thieves in 4A in the whole state last year at 4 a game.
And he'll do that to you. He'll score 20 points, and half of them will be on just cheap little steals like that, but that's part of his game.
Murdoch drives baseline. Kicks out to Ballstat. 3. Good.
That was good motion. Good motion. Wasatch carried the ball out and then took a good 3-point shot.
So they cut the lead in half, and then Kirby can't handle. And it goes out of bounds off a couple of Mustangs, and we go the other way. Mountain Crest with their second turnover.
Now checking in for the Mustangs, number 23, Gage Ferguson.
Gage Ferguson off the bench.
Gage is a junior. If you watch Mountain Crest football, he's a heck of an athlete. He brings a real athletic approach to this team. It's going to add just to that level of athletics. When you really look, you've got 5 athletes out there. Even Kirby at 6'7" is a pretty good athlete for the size he is.
Murdoch, baseline drive, gets caught up in the air, and it's rebounded by Kirby.
Here they come.
Hall quickly the other way.
Eddie's a quarterback. He won't score a lot of points, but he will drive everything down the middle.
Looking down low for Pututau. Instead, it's Hall off the curl. He gives it to Pututau. Baseline drive, and he's fouled by Johnson.
Very good again. Eddie's the leader of this team, emotionally as well as athletically. He'll drive that ball. He'll drive the middle. He'll dish. He's not. He's extremely unselfish. But he can pull up and hit the shot too.
Second team foul as Johnson picks up his first. Pututau looks down low to Kirby. The big man kicks it back out to Crosby. Long 3. Won't go.
I like that though. Inside-out game. Played well. Tyler just didn't get it to drop for him.
The new players getting set to check in for Wasatch as Johnson measures up a 3. Skips off the rim, and the Mustangs coming back the other way, sitting on a 6-3 lead. Crosby. Harward got a hand on that one, and Johnson comes down with it.
Yeah, Tyler forced that one a little. He got into the lane, didn't quite know what he needed to do. And I used to be told when I used to play, don't go into the lane, leave your feet if you don't know what you're going to do. And he got caught that time.
Johnson walked. Third turnover for the Wasps. Now coming in for Wasatch, number 2, Blake Hansen, and number 3, Casey Peterson.
Number 3, Casey Peterson. And for the Mustangs, number 1, Tanner Knowles, and number 2, Jamison Webb.
I think it's a smart by Buck Miller. These kids are still not in basketball shape. It's not the same, football shape and basketball shape, and he's going to give them a good break. Doesn't want anybody to get tired, get hurt. Give some guys some time to play a little bit tonight.
Cam Webb with the balls. He comes into the ball game. Webb walked, took that little extra step. Mountain Crest matching Wasatch in turnovers with 3 apiece.
J-Mo Webb, Cam's the big brother.
Oh, excuse me.
Cam would probably love that, and J-Mo would probably hate that. So you got to keep J-Mo in line.
Well, it's those long flowing locks both of them have.
I think you've already seen from Mountain Crest, this is going to be their 7-man rotation. These are going to be the 7 guys that you see mostly on the floor. Another steal.
There's Crosby going in against Murdoch. Crosby finishes.
Tyler Crosby.
Crosby with 6 points.
6 of the 8, so he's everything they got going right now.
Murdoch gets in the paint. Knowles rejects him. Is Knowles Marty's kid?
Yes.
Marty Knowles, ex-Mountain Crest great, just all-around athlete. A couple years older than I was, most on the south end. Heard of him back when he was playing.
I think Tanner's going to be the surprise this year. He's been really looking good in practice, they say, and he's picked his game up. He's gotten a little stronger, more aggressive.
It's interesting to go around the valley and you start seeing some of the kids as A rebound out there by Peterson off the Larson mitts. Here's another turnover
on the floor
for Wasatch.
It's the other signature of this team, I think, is going to be a scrappy team. That's a good call.
Ferguson with the charge, 5th turnover for the Mustangs, and Ferguson picks up his first foul. He's going back to what we were talking about before, coming around and seeing some of the kids of people that played at these high schools and that have played around the valley. Of course, you know, there's Jalen Moore out of Skyview's dad was great at Utah State.
Lots of fun.
Just interesting to see as these young men throughout the valley come through the system. That looked like a walk. He got away with out there, did Hansen.
Good help.
Ben Pilo into the ball game right now for Wasatch. He's number 10. Getting into the middle is Hansen, and he finishes at the rim.
That was a good finish by Hansen.
So it seems like Mountain Crest has dominated this game. They're up by 3, and now 4 as Pututau pops the rim.
I think Wasatch, if they try and press this team, that's a dangerous play for Wasatch. They're just too athletic, Mountain Crest is.
Well, now they double their lead, 10-5, but still only a 5-point margin. Couple of possessions. Josh Worley, number 4 in the ball game.
There's the problem for Tyler. The challenge that you're going to get is Tyler's going to get caught sometimes holding. He plays a lot with his hands. As long as the referees let him get away with that, it's effective. But if he's not careful, he's going to get in a little foul trouble, and they need to have some good guard play to back him up.
It's 4 team fouls on Mountain Crest. Only 2 on Wasatch. Mountain Crest playing that aggressive defense, so not a surprise. Ball stat, 3 ball, won't go. Rebound fought for Pututau.
And now Eddie will push. Eddie will push. He's always got his head up. Eddie's there's a great shot.
J-Mo spinning around and finishing.
And there's the athleticism again. But that starts with Eddie coming down the floor with his head up. If you watch Eddie play, he's a great quarterback. He plays everything so he can see what's in front of him. And Tyler Crosby does the same thing. And that's important for these guards on this team because they're going to get a lot of plays at the basket.
12-5 Mountain Crest with the lead of 7, their largest of the game. Pilo shut down by Pututau.
Again, good man-to-man defense. They're playing well. Stay with.
20 seconds to play in the first period. Mountain Crest by 7. Pilo, the 3 ball, too long.
Good. And look, there it goes.
Knowles out front. Here comes Pututau. Oh, and he just lays it in.
I think he got a little ahead of himself there.
Got his steps off, didn't he?
Well, he was running for the end zone still. He's still going to tuck. He's still going to tuck and run for the end zone.
Ballstat at the buzzer off the front of the iron, and it's a 14-5 lead for the Mustangs after 1 period of play here at Mountain Crest.
Hi, I'm Randy Anderson, owner of Master Mechanic in Providence. Every repair we do at Master Mechanic comes with our peace of mind guarantee, meaning all repairs are guaranteed for 3 years or 36,000 miles. That's triple the industry standard. Summer travel time is here. Before you hit the road, stop by and have our ASE certified technicians inspect your vehicle. Prevent vacation breakdowns with our pre-trip inspection. Master Mechanic in Providence, taking the worry out of summer travel. I guarantee it.
Now with print, online, and mobile offerings, the Herald Journal gives you easy access to the news that matters to you.
The paper's here!
We're delivering quality local news to more readers than ever, in more ways than ever. Subscribe today. The Herald Journal, empowering the community.
Back at Mountain Crest High School, Eric Olson along with John Worley, and I don't know if we'll have a chance to get a shot of any of the Mountain Crest players' shoes.
What do you think of those? That's a team project this year.
If we look at that, there you go. Orange Nikes, every one of them wearing them. Team project.
The team project. They came home with them last night, and I said I think they're really ugly, but as a team they look pretty good. So they're excited. They look good. They look good, and the orange socks just add to it.
Long 3 on the way. won't go. It's Gordon Jackson and a foul on the rebound. Or did it go out of bounds?
Just
went out of bounds.
Yep.
So already, Coach Magnuson's gone 9 deep. Underneath, Pututau and one.
There you go. Now, there's two guys that have played one day together in the floor this year, but you can see they've been doing that since they were kids, and that you can see it right there. Good little pick and roll. Tyler came off, looked right for Mo, and he came to the floor, and then he went hard to the frame.
Pututau, first free throw of the game for either team, and he makes.
He's going to be tough to stop for teams this year. I think he's a heck of an athlete, and he's committed to go to BYU to play football, I think, and he'll do great down there.
So athletic, so long. He's verbally committed, so there is time to get him wearing the right color blues.
We've been working on him. We've been working on him. Great defense again.
Kick out.
I'm impressed with Mountain Crest defense more so than anything else right now.
Hansen's three won't go. The Mustangs coming back the other way, leading by 12, 17-5. They're on a 9-0 run. Hall, 3 ball.
That's all time. If he hits that shot, Mountain Crest is always tough to stop. He looks for that second. He's a true point guard. He looks for the shot second and the pass first. But boy, that was great.
Now a 12-0 run by the Mustangs, and they lead 20-5. Wasatch, no returning starters. They've got plenty of seniors on the team and guys that had experience. And they're still trying to put it together as well. Jackson out front to Ballstadt, all the way in against Pututau, and it rims out.
Too bad.
There's a lid on the rim for the Wasps.
Already looking down the floor. Tyler go right to frame. Good pass.
Crosby back to Kirby. It's good.
I think it's obvious that Wasatch is a little outmanned right now, but still I like what I see early from Mountain Crest. They're rebounding well, they're boxing out well, and they're really pushing the ball up the floor.
Kirby with the rebound, and it's Crosby looking to Pututau.
Yep.
Pututau walked.
And he'll do that. He has a little shuffle step that he's got to keep his eyes on.
Traveling. Wasp ball. Now in for the Mustangs, number 4.
Worley replaces Crosby. And full disclosure, you know number 4 a little bit.
Just a little bit, but
does he pay rent at your house?
He doesn't pay rent. He spends a lot of money, but he doesn't pay rent.
I've got a few of those. Offensive foul going the other way as Hansen put his shoulder in the nose.
This is a fun group to be a part of, and Josh has a role on this team. He needs to come in and give him some minutes. He's not going to do a lot, but when they need him, he can come in and work hard. His job, he comes home every day and says, Dad, my job is to push Eddie in practice and make him work hard. And that's a great thing. You got to have some kids that do that. So it's a fun group to be around. We might win the GQ look this year too. Look at that hairstyle that he's got going out there.
That is nuts. He's got cornrows going. Is that? I don't know what happened. I don't know where he fell asleep and what vagrant got a hold of his hair.
I don't think Buck Miller's had time to get working on that yet. But.
That's okay in football because you can't see it.
That's exactly right. Good rotation. Get the ball inside.
Worley with the save as Knowles had kind of thrown it back out. Hall wasn't ready, and the Mustangs set it up again, leading 22-5. They're on a 14-0 run.
Kirby's going to learn when he starts playing a little bigger guys than that. He's got to use his backside a little more and keep him out. So he got him around him, and he just couldn't keep him off a little bit.
Sophomore, which means he's about 15 years old.
He's learning, though. He's getting better every day.
Out front, steal on the inbounds pass by Jackson. For Mountain Crest, that's 8 turnovers. Now they're trying to create one of their own. But Wasatch gets out of trouble. Halo with the finger roll. Won't go, and the rebound is short as well. It's like a carnival game over here for Wasatch. The ball's bigger than the hoop. Just will not go. They've had many good looks. It just won't drop. Ferguson getting set to check in, and another turnover for the Mustangs. That's 9 in the half, and we still have 4:46 to play in the second period.
Mustangs, 23 Gage Ferguson, and
14 fouls apiece. So not a ton of whistles. Been a pretty clean game as a 30-second timeout is called by Wasatch. Wasatch going to be going over to going to be going over to 4A, at least in the early realignment pictures.
When does that happen? Not this year, but next?
Next.
Okay.
It should be next year, and then it would, right now it's looking like they would be with those schools in the Nebo district, like Timpview and such.
You know, I think that's a big step up for them in a lot of ways. Athletically, they'll get a better challenge, and frankly, from a travel point of view, that'll be a better fit for them, which is a big thing right now.
They just have to hop down Provo Canyon.
Right, and they'll play against kids that they're playing against in other leagues, likely, and they'll definitely see a higher level of competition day in and day out. There's some great teams in 3A, but they'll have to step up their competition, and they will, and their program will keep moving along.
At realignment, we'll see some big changes. They're looking at adding a 6th classification.
I think Mountain Crest was a little worried they were going to move to 5A, and that I think the last I heard they're going to stay at the 4A.
Yeah, last
and
I
my
heard.
guess is they're big enough to move, but they're probably already planning for another school split at some point.
Well, they keep talking about as Knowles picks up his 2nd personal. We take a look at the replay here as he puts a body on Jackson. They keep talking about, they're looking for places to find another school for the county.
Yeah,
another school for the county.
That's always a challenge. But it'll happen. I mean, the valley's growing still, and
my family's got a little bit of land out there in the center of the valley. Maybe if there's enough zeros out of the back.
There you go.
Have them call me.
There you go. Good rotation. Mountain Crest moved the ball around well, but double team.
Kirby working hard in there.
Good.
It gets a little bit rough, and this one goes back to Mountain Crest.
Mountain Crest did the right thing there. They brought the ball around, they moved it well, they got the rotation, and then they forced it into a double team, and Kirby needed to punch it back out. As he plays a little, he'll realize when he gets double teamed, that means somebody up top is going to be open. And Mountain Crest plays a good inside-out game. They've got some kids who can really shoot the ball.
So the teams trade turnovers. 10 turnovers for Mountain Crest. So
there you go. Now see, I like that. Nice little shot. Gage will hit that, as the season goes on. They rotated, went in, came back out, rotated around. Gage got a little nice 10-foot jump shot, and it just didn't fall for him. Buck Miller will be happy with that.
16 fouls as Kirby picks up his first.
Jake Larson.
Again, it's the endowment game, first game of the football season, first game of the basketball season. Part of the gate for each game for these games goes to UHSAA. Came into effect a few years ago, kind of helping make up costs. What was killing UHSAA's coffers is state championship and semifinal games that were being played in blizzards, and only 3 people were there. 3 ball by Larson.
3 points.
Okay, here we go. They're going to press now. Let's see how Mountain Crest handles this. This is where I think they have an advantage, especially as the season goes on. Good, they played that well.
Worley back to Webb. Webb can't finish.
Webb just forced that a little, but they got the ball to the middle. They did exactly what they wanted to do.
That was the first bucket in a while a moment ago for Wasatch, and this may be Knowles picking up his 3rd.
If you can get these high school kids to understand that when they see a press and they get the ball to the middle, once the ball gets to the middle, then you really lose your ability as a defense to stop yourself. And what they're trying to do is move you down the side of the field or down the side of the lane.
Jackson Gordon.
And that's just another. Tanner's a bigger athlete, tried to make a step and got the foul.
And now in for the
Mustangs,
number 5.
Those presses, if they can keep the ball in the middle of the court and not get down on that sideline, that really works to their advantage. And Mountain Crest is going to be good at doing that with the athletes they have.
Jackson's missed 3 straight free throws, and now he hits his 4th. 1 point off the bench for Jackson. Only 9 points for Wasatch as they extend that pressure again.
See, they take their time, get the ball to the middle. Good. That was well done. Well done.
Across the timeline with ease. And now Crosby as they skip past to the other side. He finds Ferguson. His shot
He'll get
won't
there.
Go.
Gage is still playing football a little bit. That was a good offense. He had a good shot. It just didn't quite fall for him.
Putu Tau gets the foul as Johnson with a smart move saw Putu Tau closing in, and he head faked. And Putu Tau picks up the infraction.
Back to fundamentals. Stay on your feet. Don't get in the air.
And it's free throws the rest of the way for Wasatch, as you saw the replay there.
Putu Tau. Another kid now come in, Cannon Shank. And this young man has a lot of potential. He can play, he can shoot. And I think you're going to see more of him as the season goes on, too.
His name's Cannon. He should be a baseball pitcher.
Well, I think he is a baseball player. I don't follow baseball as much, but he's a heck of a basketball player.
Free throw good by Johnson. Two of 5 from the line tonight for the Wasps. Now 3 of 6. Mountain Crest 1 for 1. Pututau had one chance at a charity pitch. Webb, baseline jumper's good.
Jamo's a real streak shooter. If he gets hot, he is really dangerous. And so when he makes a couple of early shots, that's a good sign for these guys.
Long jumper.
Good
from
box
the
out by Cannon.
And Shank comes up with it.
Oh, he's looking down floor, Eddie. Great job.
Hall always with that head up, as you mentioned, trying to advance the ball. 3 ball, Crosby won't go.
Look out.
Shank flies in, and he's going to send Wasatch to the line.
Good aggressive play by Cannon. He just needs to have a little bit of understanding of where he is on the floor.
Cannon Shank called for his
See him
first
coming
personal.
in. He saw the ball he wanted it. He just couldn't quite get there in time.
At the line to shoot, 1-1 pin from Palo.
Palo will go to the line and miss. Rebound fought for, and Johnson comes up with it. And out of bounds, the Wasps throw it away. That's their 8th turnover. Mountain Crest with 10.
Mountain Crest has 10 turnovers?
10 turnovers.
Well, it's early. That's something certainly they'll work on.
Including a couple of offensive fouls. Now the Mustangs work it around the perimeter. Crosby, 3. Rims out. Rebounded
Good,
by
Jamo.
Webb.
Great job, Jamo.
And he's fouled.
This is an athletic lineup right now for Mountain Crest. They just keep bringing them off the bench.
Well, for his first personal,
Murdoch
Murdoch
picks up the foul. And Webb will shoot free throws as we see 1:59 to play on our SC Needham Jewelers middle of the block sign of the clock. And now it's 25-11 Mountain Crest as Webb picks up point number 5.
Josh Worley checks in for the Mustangs.
Here's a good look at Webb. You know, he's the quarterback of the football team, but at times he gave way and handed the ball over to Eddie Hall as they run that Wildcat. He misses the second one, and never heard any grumbling out of him about that. Played his role. And he had a pretty solid season himself after a little bit of a rough start. He was up and down early, but he settled down and
played really well against Bountiful. Played really well against Timpview.
Against Bountiful, he was our player of the game.
He was, yeah, and he played well.
He didn't have Eddie Hall in the backfield to carry the load.
That's right, he did that.
It was on his shoulders.
Yeah. And you know, no one could play well against Highland because that was just a crazy day. So good. I'm impressed. I continue to be impressed with Mountain Crest defense. They're a lot of energy. They're helping each other. They're playing good position, and they're helping in the middle, fighting through picks.
Down the lane goes Larson, and Larson with 5 points in the game, all here in the second period. 1 minute to play. Mountain Crest by 12, 25-13. They've outscored Wasatch 11-8 after leading 14-5 at the end of 1. Early back out to Hall, and Hall and Shank will play catch with it. Now it's Webb. Worley kicks it back to Shank. 3.
There you go. It's
won't go.
It's a good shot by Cannon. He'll make that. Good job. Ah, too bad.
And the Mustangs all around the ball. Here comes the oop. Pututau couldn't finish. They were looking for some razzle-dazzle.
They really were. Now set it up. You got 10 seconds. Look at the clock. There you go.
He was going to try to turn around and do that behind his head.
He almost did too, didn't he?
Webb drains the 3 with 3 seconds to play in the half, and that's the end of the first half. 28-13. Mountain Crest opens up the 15-point lead on Wasatch. We'll be back. The game of the week after this.
Hi, I'm Wendy. Yep, that one. And I'm proud to introduce Dave's Hot and Juicy Cheeseburgers. They're all new and our best yet, with thicker, hotter, juicier beef, melty cheese, and a warm butter toasted bun. So come on in.
You know when it's real.
This is a 68 Buick Skylark, and we're just working on the lights. This is a 92 Toyota Corolla, and we're just putting in a new alternator. This is a 97 Pontiac Transport, and we've had the whole motor apart, putting in new intake manifold gaskets.
For all your automotive needs, big or small, see A1 Automotive.
Howdy, you old grist mill. Old Grist Mill Bread Company, Ogden, Brigham, Logan.
Well, it's 28-13 at the half. Mountain Crest leading Wasatch. Eric Olson along with John Worley. It's a little bit of a crowd here tonight. You wait to get into these region games, and then students really start coming out. The Mustangs went on a run there. They only led 8-5 late in the first period, and then they outscored Wasatch 20-8. We take a look at some of the plays here. This one in particular.
This was almost a spectacular play. You see, watch. Now Mo's pointing to him right now. Jamison's looking up and sees it. He just puts it a little behind him, and Mo had to adjust in the air. He almost got that. Almost got that.
That would have brought the house down, that's for sure.
Well, we've said it before tonight, and we'll probably say it a lot all year long, but that's the athleticism of this team. And you see it, and that's why I really wasn't too concerned about this game tonight, because number one, I think they have better athletes. Number two, as we talked about earlier, these kids have played a lot together, and it's just like moving into the next thing they do.
Well, Webb came off the bench to score 8 points, 6 of them there in the second period, and Pututau with 7, Crosby with 6, Knowles had 2, Kirby had 2, Ferguson, Worley, and Shank all played and didn't score in that first half. For Wasatch, Larson with 5 to lead the way. Murdoch didn't score. Ballstat with 3. Chris Johnson with a pair from the free throw line. Harward didn't score. Hanson with 2. Peterson played and did not score. Same with Pilo. And Jackson had 1. And so, Mountain Crest pretty consistent. 14 points in the first period, 14 points in the second period, and they lead at the half by 15, 28-13.
You spread the scoring around just a little bit, and I think you'll see that throughout the year. You'll have different players who step up. You'll always have Crosby, and you'll always have Mo there, I think. And after that, you'll see different players score and help out throughout the day, throughout the evening.
Okay, it's time for our Wendy's All-Stars Athletes of the Week. Bobby Peterson, a tennis player from right here at Mountain Crest. Of course, you can go into all the Wendy's of Cache Valley locations. And they'll run these on the TV. They're in the restaurant. You'll be able to see them all. Chanel Saxton, another tennis player from out here at Mountain Crest. Remember that Wendy's supports all of the local athletes and students. Gage Ferguson, another Mustang that's Athlete of the Week, along with Carly Campbell. As we get into soccer now, Mountain Crest girls soccer player Carly Campbell and Katie Harvey. Congratulations to the All-Stars, the Wendy's Athletes of the Week. Go on into the local Wendy's, take a look at them on the big board up there from all of the schools, and make sure you thank Wendy's for supporting the local schools and local students and athletes. Well, we're about 5 minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll take a break and come back and talk about Region 5 and the Valley teams, what we expect to see out of the region. It's Mountain Crest 28, Wasatch 13 at the half.
Visionary homes.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is Northern Utah's largest volume diamond importer. My name is Gene Needham, and I travel personally to the World's Diamond Cutting Center, Antwerp, Belgium. There I hand-select each diamond based on the most favorable combinations of cut, color, and clarity. This makes all of our diamonds unique and special and assures that our customers get the best selection and value. These advantages enable us to consistently beat 50 to 70% off sales or any so-called wholesale deals. Come see us, S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Well, and that's the difference between us and say a chain that they'll hire anybody off the street and doesn't matter. And not that that's so bad, but here we're trying to give as personalized service as you can, as informed as you can possibly be, and help the individual in their selection of eyewear.
Yeah, that's a great benefit. I don't see how you can put a price tag on that.
Well,
awesome.
That's probably right.
Watching the game of the week on the Valley Channel. Mountain Crest hosting Wasatch. The Mustangs lead by 15 at the half. And the game of the week is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness. Never give up. Lewiston State Bank, your hometown bank with a new location at 3rd South and Main in Logan. Wendy's of Cache Valley. Quality is our recipe. Cache Valley Hospital, your first choice in healthcare.
You're down 6-0.
Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. The Salt Lake Express, from your door to the Salt Lake Airport, 12 times a day. S.E. Needham Jewelers, where Utah gets engaged. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station. Welcome back to Mountain Crest High School. Both teams out warming up. Let's talk a little bit about Region 5, John. Mountain Crest and Skyview tied for first place in the region last year, and I think a lot of people thought that might be I think that was a surprise to a lot of people because Skyview had that big front line and had Moore and Oliverson and some of those big players, and then Mountain Crest kind of came out of nowhere and took a piece of the title. And then Logan, talking to their coach, Logan Brown, he feels pretty optimistic about his chances this year.
I think all three of those teams could compete for a region title. I think we have three good basketball teams this year in the Valley. Logan might be maybe the least known, if you will, but they've got great athletes, and those kids learn how to play tough, and Logan Brown makes them play tough and expects a lot of them, and I think that's an up-and-coming program. They're doing a great job. Skyview has the Moore kid. They have the Nielsen kid that plays on the guard line, and they're both, I think, certainly kids that will play at the next level. And Mountain Crest has got 3 kids that could potentially play at the next level, and lots of great athletes around them. So I think it's going to be a fun year. And I don't really know enough. And then of course you got the Roy team with and I don't know his name, but he's the All-American,
I know
player
from. I know who you're talking about now too.
Big tall kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. I watched them play at Roy last year, and I was quite impressed with him. So I think Roy's going to be good too.
Well,
and Box Elder's got
Shad Watson.
Shad, and we played against Shad a lot as kids, and he's a heck of a player too. So I think all around this is a strong region. It'll be a fun year.
I think the marquee player in the region is probably Moore out at Skyview.
I think that's true.
He's verbally committed to Utah State, but started to get a lot of attention from other schools over the summer with the AAU and everything else.
I think him and I think the kid from Roy are really there. But I'll tell you, I take on a night when he's playing, I'd take Mo athletically. He'll play with them all, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
(28-13), Mountain Crest with the early lead.
Just to wrap that, Logan has some good athletes too. I mean, the Falk young man is a good young man. The Dahl kid can play and has played for a number of years. The Larson kid plays well, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch.
Kirby and Shank.
Well, Mountain Crest, a little bit of a change to their starting lineup. They've got Shank starting here instead of Knowles to start the second half, and now they stop play. Let's see what's
going on
here.
They don't like the game ball, it looks like, for some reason.
Well,
and now we're set for the
seems like they've got it figured out now. If we get Eddie Hall to be our player of the game, we can get you down there and ask him how to do that to your hair.
If Eddie can teach me how to do that to my hair, then he has a future, believe me.
He's got a future in anything. Yes. Crosby's 3 rims out, and it's rebounded by Larson.
Looks like Wasatch came out in a zone defense. I wonder if they're going to try and make Mountain Crest shoot the ball.
Murdoch out to Ballstadt. Ballstadt 3 is good. He hesitated and then fired away. 6 points for Ballstadt. Shank tries to find Kirby, and the ball's kicked out of bounds, and it stays here.
Okay, Mountain Crest got to get back into the half now. They haven't quite come out of the locker room yet.
Putu Tau into Shank. Shank
looks like we're going to stay in the zone.
Skip pass to Crosby. Putu Tau, baseline move, and he finishes.
You're going to find few high school athletes that are going to be that quick on the baseline. Mo is going to make a lot of hay down there.
Out of bounds. Wasatch with their 9th turnover of the game.
Little token 3-quarter press just to keep Mountain Crest on us. They're going to try and trap in the corners like that. Get the ball out there quickly. Quick.
Putu Tau kicks it back out. Shank didn't take the ball with him. There's Putu Tau again. This time he takes it to the hoop, and he'll shoot a free throw for his efforts.
Great pass by Eddie too. Plays with his head up, looking down, and Moroni gets himself in position. Uses his body well, and that's a big, long body with big arms. It's going to be hard to stop.
11 for Putu Tau. 1 for 1 from the free throw line, and this one long. So he stays at 11 points. Ballstadt checked there by Crosby, and he just runs by him but misses the layup. Here comes Hall. Back out to Crosby.
To the hole.
All the way in. And an offensive foul. They're going to call it on the big man.
Probably a good call. I think Kirby got caught a little bit in no man's land. Didn't quite know what to do. Didn't want to get in the way, but wanted to help.
By Tanner Kirby, his second.
Tanner Kirby picking up his second.
Of the half, Wasatch ball.
Johnson with
Great
the turnaround.
Shot. Great shot. He turned around, good athletic move.
Johnson.
Turning his whole body and squaring up in the air. And Mountain Crest turns it over. Number 11. You're talking about Roy. I think were you talking about Brockton Chapman? Or Breckett Chapman, or were you talking about Jaden Jackson for Roy?
I think Chapman is his name.
Yeah, Chapman
Tall.
averaged 16 a game last year, and I
Yeah.
think that's who you're talking about.
You know, he's gotten a lot of talk in the AAU circle. 2 in a row. There you go.
Same spot,
2
same
in a row.
result.
2 points, Chris Johnson.
Johnson with 6, 4 in the quarter. It's a 12-point lead for Mountain Crest. 5:10 to play in the third period. Staying in that zone, aren't they? Shank, offensive.
Shank's struggling a little bit right now. He's trying just a little too hard. He wants to impress the coach. His first time in a varsity game, and he's just a little bit out of sorts. He'll sit down now.
Number 23.
Buck Miller grab him, say, "Good job, you'll be okay."
Correction, Gage Ferguson.
Shank takes a seat.
He's going to be a good one, Eric. I think he just needs a little time to mature.
He's replaced by Ferguson.
Gage is a lot like Eddie. He'll come in and just play hard. Boy, I'll tell you, we've gotten beat on the dribble. Mountain Crest 3 or 4 times now, that guard line. This press has given us a little trouble, too. I'm surprised, actually.
Murdoch blew right past his defender. Brings Wasatch to within 10. Hall, three-pointer on the way. Won't go. Pututau can't get the putback to go in. And now Kirby does.
There's the size. The size just took over there. Wasatch didn't have much answer to that.
Three-pointer straight away by Larson won't go. Ballstad ends up with it. Johnson's had a little bit of the hot hand here in the third. Gives it up to Murdoch. Murdoch gets Ferguson in the air and finishes.
Nice move.
Jeff Murdoch.
Murdoch and Johnson with 4 points apiece, matching Cooper Ballstats, or putting that with Ballstats 3. That's 11 points in the period for Wasatch, and they only scored 13 in the whole first half, and we still have 3:35 to play in the third.
It looks like Wasatch got maybe a little talking to at halftime. They came out and played a little athletic, and they've really taken it to Mountain Crest this time.
Crosby's shot rims out. Johnson pulls down the Ferguson miss, and Ferguson fouls Johnson.
Gage Ferguson.
Yeah, it's a good timeout by Buck Miller. I like this. We're almost into the quarter. We look a little lazy coming out of the locker room at halftime.
Timeout called by the Mustangs. 30-second timeout.
Here's the foul.
This is that's a frustration foul. You know, get the rebound, make a great play, go up, miss the layup, and now I'm going to get frustrated, get the ball back. Again, Gage will learn. That's part of learning how to play in the system. So I think Buck Miller right now is just saying, guys, calm down, get your shot. It's going to go in. Just remember what we did. We'll be okay.
Mountain Crest has been outscored by 5 in this period, led by 15 at the half. Now Wasatch has cut that to a 10-point deficit. See if they can keep cutting into it in the first half. Maybe it's something about this basket down here. Maybe they better ask Coach Crosby to look at it in the first half. How many good looks did we see Wasatch get that just would not go in?
Really didn't fall. Well, Wasatch has come out to play the second half. The coach has got them going, and they look a lot better this half. Don't you think? They have a little more energy. They look a lot better than they did in the first half. First game jitters, playing a bigger school, and now they're